Live. Come on, Lightstream. Oh, are we on? Let's see. Can you see and hear me right now, everybody? Let me know. Hey, Claire. Excellent. How's the volume? We doing good? Everybody, welcome back to Paleontologizing, and welcome back to beautiful, wild Wyoming. We're here at a different site today. Fourth of four, the ceratopsian site. So I'm going to show you around today. We've got a horned dinosaur that our crew discovered here back in 2023. We've been coming back every year since then, digging into the site some more, hopefully finding more bones. This year we've got a huge back wall to the quarry that we're trying to work our way down, so we're back in overburden stages. I'll show you all this in a minute, but by way of introduction, if it's your first time here, let me introduce myself. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist, and I'm here on Twitch trying to do some good old-fashioned science outreach. So, as a paleontologist, fossils are what I study. Paleontology is the study of fossils, everything from fossil bacteria to fossil baleen whales, from fossil frogs to fossil ferns, and, everything in between. That includes dinosaurs, but I want to make the point that paleontology is not just dinosaurs, even though dinosaurs happen to be what I study and what we're most interested in here on this crew. But, yeah. I'll show you over there what the guys are doing in just a minute. But, yeah. I don't expect to see any bones. If we see any bones today on stream, that's probably a bad thing, because they probably won't be dinosaur bones. Overburden like this can be kind of dangerous, so, yeah, you gotta be careful, know what you're doing when you're moving literal tons of rocks. Like right here. There we go. I think we've come in at an excellent time to see this turnover. We get to see it flip.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, you alright?
I need to readjust.
Holding.
I got it? Okay.
You good? Yep. Somebody hold.
Nice work, gents.
Here we go. This is the money shot. 3, 2, 1.
Almost.
Holding. I need to adjust.
Holding.
I'm adjusting. Holding. Watch out for it.
Right, hold on. I need to adjust.
So, in order to dig up a big dinosaur, you gotta move a lot of rocks.
Watch out if it pulls back on us. Alright, I need to adjust. Adjusting. Ready?
Adjust real quick. 1 second.
Alright, good. Alright, let's get it.
We'll let them continue to work on this.
Alright, I need to bite on it.
Okay, holding. I got it.
But again, this is overburden today. We're probably not going to see any bones. This is just removing rock over the bone layer.
There we go.
We gotta.
Watch out.
Nicely done. All right. Woo! It's going to be a lot of that this whole summer here at this site. Here, I'll walk you around and show you. And now this is rock and roll, says Lowlands Lounger. Yes, indeed. It's going to be a lot of rolling of rocks today. But this is the ceratopsian site. So I've been streaming here since 2023, since the site was discovered. And look at all this rock that we've moved, all of it by hand. We do have some jackhammers and some impact drills and things like that. We're working on a formula we're working on a technique with expanding bentonite clay that we can put inside of drilled holes in the rocks, and then it will expand inside of those holes, crack the rocks apart into more Right underneath here, this is where our ceratopsian bones had come from. So we have what we think is We've already found several bones throughout the years. But then we reached that back wall. So the bone layer is down here. That's the horizon that's actually yielding the bones. We we hit this wall, and now so this is going to be a tremendous amount of work. But hang on. There we go. And yeah, the Starlink is way up there. So when I'm down here, I guess we're losing the signal. When you have such an incline on a site like this, it presents some challenges. So this is cool. As of today, all of you in the chat will have met pretty much everybody on the crew, all 4 different sites. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And thank you, Sporky. Yeah, it's great to be back in the field. Yes. Anyhow, got a nice shade tarp that Nick just bought in town. Keep our bags and our water cool. That's important out here. But yeah, a lot of this work is kind of stop and go at this site because, well, it's preparing to like move a huge boulder out of the way. Everybody exerts themselves all in concert, then we stop the rest. So, very stop and go here at the ceratopsian site currently. Yeah. Good stuff. Anyhow, how's everybody doing? How was your day going? I hope you're having a good one. I certainly am. This morning, well, shoot. We've got all the early birds in the chat, so I can give you a little rundown of kind of the social stuff. We had our first karaoke night last night, courtesy of me. Given that I've got satellite internet and big solar battery and everything, I brought my streaming laptop and a projector and a karaoke machine with microphones, and we had Wyoming desert karaoke last night. It was a lot of fun. Probably stayed up too late doing that, but yeah, that's some R&R here out in western Wyoming. A lot of fun. And hey, Jazzy Cat, welcome. Yeah. Kenyon Air Boy says, let's hear something. You want to go hear the generator? Given that there's a lot of... This is our heavy equipment site here, the ceratopsian site. So let me give you a quick rundown of some of this equipment. You might see some of this in action during today's stream. And then I'll introduce you to some of the crew members. You know what? Let me introduce you to some of the crew members now, actually. Change of plans. How's everybody doing? Yeah. Nice work with this. Holy cow. This is not an... It is a not insubstantial piece of rock right there. Shoot. How much do you think that weighs?
That's at least a juvenile elephant.
Yeah.
It's got to be a 10.
Yeah. At least 2,000 pounds?
Yeah.
That's, shoot. Just this big blocky sandstone. What would you make of this, Josh? Like, is this a fluvial sandstone here?
I have no idea. Can we get the real geologist, the pro to answer that question?
Nick, what do you think? What's
This is
a professional take on this?
Calcium carbonate cemented sandstone.
Oof, yeah.
Can we test that?
So-
I've got some acid.
I got HCl in my bag.
Nice. Oh, we can see if it fizzes? That would be really cool. Do a demonstration? Yeah. So that's Nick Oliver there, everybody. We've had him on stream before a bunch of times. Good friend and a huge asset here in the field. Like, we're really lucky to have him. So, yeah. So this probably wouldn't be the bottom of a lake, Claire. Sandstones are generally fluvial in origin. Yeah, so flowing water.
In the channel of a river.
Yeah.
Fresh break.
Ooh.
I got in here somewhere.
So explain what you're going to do before you do it.
So this is 10% HCl mixed with water.
Hydrochloric acid.
Hydrochloric acid, and it'll react with calcium carbonate and foam up.
So this is how you test whether or not you've got calcium carbonate there? Yeah.
Why does it fizz?
You have, isn't it? You have free valence electrons who are looking for, for ionic bonds.
Is that fizzing?
You have calcium carbonate, which has empty outer shells. So those electrons in the calcium carbonate are filling that space, and you're getting the release of oxygen.
Nice.
Which is, or gas. You're getting a gas reaction, which is the bubbles.
See it kind of in a crack. So it's cementing. Like this stuff is probably pure sandstone cemented by some iron, secondary iron or something, and then in the crack, calcium carbonate has precipitated.
Yeah.
Reaction there.
Very
Look at
cool.
all the bubbles.
Look at that. Look at the bubbles.
Look at the bubbles.
Nice.
Yeah.
Science.
It's part of the reason why it makes it so hard and really miserable to work with.
Yeah.
Is I mean, calcium carbonate is one of the most active ingredients in like what we use in everyday, like concrete and cement. So nature's concrete and cement has found its way, permeated through this sandstone and locked it all together and just made it incredibly hard, incredibly heavy, incredibly dense.
Made our lives a little bit difficult out here.
Yeah.
Given that we have to remove a ton of this to be able to get down to the bone layer. And so how have you guys been doing that? How do you crack through like nature's cement here?
Horsepower and sheer will. Using a lot of leverage. A lot of this is exfoliating, fracturing naturally. So we're going along a lot of natural fractures, exfoliation, which is where rock is coming apart, generally along bedding. Yeah, we're using these pry bars, using some leverage, getting some good fulcrums to wedge the stuff out, wiggle it out, and roll it down the hill.
Nice.
And everything that we can't wiggle out, we're using diamond bit blades and diamond tipped drills to drill down, cut through, to either knock some rock off or to wedge some tools inside so that we can get some equal pressure and split them apart.
So this was cemented onto another block and you guys were able to just cleave that through right there? Yeah, that is...
Right here.
Yeah. So just literally cutting through solid rock, some of the toughest stuff on the planet. This is nuts. Well done. Yeah. Very cool.
See what it did to the board.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Check this out. Here, let's show this off. So this is a solid steel pry bar right here. Look at that bend. I hope that we've got a fisheye lens on this camera, so often things look a little bent. This legitimately is super bent. In reality, look at that. That's the kind of resilient rock and manpower that we're dealing with here. Pretty impressive. We're just going through these pry bars and other tools left and right. We've obliterated several sledgehammers so far. It's bonkers. This is... I think I can say without reservation, this is the most hardcore of the different sites that we're working at. So we've got a pretty hardcore crew here. That's right. Yeah.
So, dogs.
Yeah.
Dogs.
Yeah.
Field dogs.
Dogs.
Beasts of overburden.
With a W. DAWG. Dogs.
Dogs.
All those wimps at the Ankylosaur. They don't know what to do.
Yeah,
They don't know what
they're getting soft.
They don't know what
over
it
there.
takes.
They're getting soft at the site.
to earn this.
We should do a quick little introduction. So we've got Nick Oliver here. Nick, where are you from?
Born and raised San Diego.
Yeah, California.
Master's student geology program, San Diego State.
Nice. Yeah. Nick is working on fossil tortoises right now, which is super cool, from the Pleistocene. So, neat stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. And Nick, million stories and different jobs he's done, different hats he wears. Nick's a good guy to know.
My project is on this stuff, on the almond.
Nice. Okay, yeah.
Doing stable isotope geochemistry for paleo-environmental indicators.
Right. Yeah.
You see what kind of environments these dinosaurs live in.
Nice. Important stuff.
Also a director on the board of MRC.
That's correct.
Oh, part of the board of the Mesozoic Research Center?
That's right.
Nice. Yeah.
As well as Quinn. Quinn's also a director.
Heck yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we got Josh.
Hi.
Yeah.
I'm from Chicago. I go to school in Minnesota, McAllister College.
Yeah.
Repping it.
Nice.
I'm a geology major going into my senior year.
Very cool. Yeah.
Came out here to move rocks.
Yeah, and so you've been working on some of the microfossils from Turtle Hill and stuff, right?
I did. Oh no, that's Ava, my classmate.
Oh, Ava's doing that.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. She was.
Yeah.
We collected a bunch of matrix bags last year.
Yeah, yeah.
And she sifted through a ton of them, and she's just been poking through these little discs of in the microscope of microfossils and trying to build a, I don't know, ecosystem.
Yeah,
Understand it better.
Awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Super cool.
And we got Quinn.
Yeah, I'm Quinn Hawkins from Buffalo, New York.
Do we have any Northern New Yorkers in the chat?
Go Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I work at this company called WSP. It's an environmental remediation firm.
Yeah, what does it stand for, Quinn?
It doesn't stand for anything.
We looked this up when we were trying to put Quinn as an author on an SVP poster last year. SVP stands for the Society of Vertebrate Paleontology. WSP? doesn't stand for anything, and I was trying to figure out so we could put it on. It doesn't. It's just WSP.
I think my company got in some legal trouble back in the 90s, and then they bought another company, changed from their original name to WSP. But now the guys who were WS and P, which were like last names, probably don't work there anymore.
Is that how it started? Really?
Yeah. But like, if you look on our website, it just doesn't say what it stands for. It's very funny. But yeah, I'm a geologist. Working there as an environmental consultant.
Nice. So, yeah. And so you might remember Quinn from previous seasons. We're going to put Quinn on the spot later for a music recommendation.
Yeah.
So
also
captain,
and
there you go. Right there on the sleeve.
Captain and of the Mesozoic Research Center.
Nice.
You know.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah.
We're official now.
Yeah.
Donate.
People already have. We raised like almost $4,000.
That's amazing. Thank you guys.
Yeah, this is an amazing community we've got here.
We need
Incredible.
food.
Yeah,
we need more. We need more
Send
food.
sardines, please.
More sardines.
More sardines.
And then we got James.
Yeah.
James.
Hi there. So I'm from South Jordan, Utah. I'm a student at the University of Utah studying biology and minoring in earth sciences.
Nice.
I'm currently working on an undergrad research project with Dr. Mark Lowen on a ceratopsian. So
Nice.
working at a ceratopsian site just seems to fit.
There you go. Yeah, you're in the right place. Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, James.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see, Trin, can I bug you for a minute?
Sure.
How you doing, Trinidad?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, Trinidad James here, everybody. I'm just kidding.
Okay, in middle school, some of my classmates used to call me that, and I didn't know anything about music, so I was like, what's going on here?
All gold everything, you know? Yeah.
You know, you just helped me make sense of a signature in my yearbook now.
Oh, that's a Trinidad James song.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
now I get the...
Anyway, so where are you from, Trin?
I'm from California.
Yeah.
From the San Francisco Bay Area, East Bay.
Nice.
Hayward.
Yeah.
We have a earthquake fault named after us, but still no one knows who we are.
There's a really funny video about Hayward on YouTube I should show you. It's like a tourist video that some guy made. It's pretty goofy. But yeah, I should show it to you. But yeah, awesome. So Trin's also working with the Children's Natural History Museum of Fremont.
Yeah, so we're both, both them and then I at Loyola College in Cal East, we were working on the Irvington type locality, so early to mid ice age.
Nice. California fossils. Yeah, cool stuff. Cool. Thanks, Trin.
Mammals are great, even though not everyone appreciates them.
They're not dinosaurs, but they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. We're mammals. Some of my best friends are mammals, so shout out mammals, you know? Yeah. Thanks, Trin.
Yeah, sure thing, Dave.
Yeah. Ooh. Nice catch, Ethan. Can I bug you for a second?
Of course. Hey, what's up, y'all?
Yeah. So, Ethan, where are you from?
I'm from Salt Lake City by way of North Carolina, Winston-Salem, Tobacco Town.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love our local industries.
Nice.
Yeah.
How'd you get involved in this whole mess?
Our brave dear El Jefe.
Ethan Cowgill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we briefly lived in a residence on the west side of Salt Lake City.
I remember I stayed with you guys briefly in 2023.
Yeah, it would turn into a hostel about twice a year for the visiting traveling companions.
Your landlord came out and yelled at me because I set up my tent in your backyard.
My landlord came out and yelled at everyone. Who so much as walked across the sidewalk.
Right, yeah.
It was a beautiful house full of Ethans. And I'm just happy to be a part of this. I'm nowhere near the sciences, but through osmosis, all things are possible.
And you're learning stuff and helping out, and
I like to move rocks.
Yeah.
I like to break and move rocks.
One of the points that I try and make on these streams is that, like, people at home, if they're interested in science, if they're interested in paleontology, they can get involved. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to be a professor. Like, just go out and do it. And
paleontology is such a labor-intensive science that it's like fully within the grasp of just like a willing, helpful person.
Well said.
That's it.
Yeah. That's exactly who Ethan is. So, thanks, man. Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Also, I think this is what everyone wanted to be doing when they were 7.
I think so.
They pictured themselves as an adult. I think I'm going to be with my friends in a beautiful place.
Yep.
And we're going to
outdoors
dig dinosaurs.
Exactly. We're living the dream. We really are.
What else are
Yeah.
Okay, I got to tell you the story of how I met Ethan.
Yeah? How'd you
Because he had come to camp, and so he was far away where I couldn't really see him. And I'm like, who is that? Because I didn't know anyone was coming to our camp.
Sure.
And so he was walking by Ethan's tent, other Ethan, and I go, Ethan?
And then you both turn around.
He wasn't even there.
It's classic.
Yeah, you told me when you heard me, you were originally going to say, yeah, who are you? Yes, I had no idea that his name also happened to be Ethan.
Yep. Nice. We are very lucky, Wolvulus, absolutely. And North Korean government says L landlords, agreed. Yeah. And then says W landlords? I don't know about that.
The only W landlord is my grandmother.
There you go. Fair, yeah. And my cats back home. They're not really my cats, they're the landlords, but yeah. But anyway, welcome North Korean government in the chat. It's good to see you. Hello, hello. Yeah, we are Chaff, they are Ethan's. There you go, Lenina. Yeah. But yeah, oh, and excellent. Thank you, Nell, for your continued support. That's a big deal. Go away, flies. Yeah, well, I'll introduce the rest of the crew in a minute here. Let me get some water. And also emphasize that this is literally my full-time job. So I am a paleontologist. I'm trained for this. This is what I do. But I actually make my living, I pay the bills, by live streaming. And so when people like Nell subscribe, they're making these streams possible. They're making it possible for me to feed myself and travel to field sites and do this kind of work and do this kind of outreach. So I'm deeply grateful for all those supporters who make this stuff possible. Thank you very, very much. Can't tell you how grateful I am. And not only that, but many members of this community have also contributed to our budget here in the field this summer so that we can get a rental truck and find a whole bunch of new sites in this area. So very excited about that. And thank you, everybody. Holy cow. Let's see. Here, let's do some more introductions real quick before the real work starts. Yeah.
Hi.
What's going on?
My name's Micah.
Micah.
From Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Ohio. Environmental geologist.
I didn't know that. Awesome. Oh, very cool.
Been doing a lot of environmental work for my career, and so it's nice to finally touch dinosaurs.
Nice. First time digging dinosaurs?
First time digging.
Nice. And you probably get that question all the time as a geologist, like, oh, how many dinosaurs have you found?
Right. Yeah. So in Cincinnati, it's the glacial maximum.
Yeah,
so we get, a lot more soft invertebrate paleontology, and so it's nice to finally see the gold standard. So,
awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
It's great to have you out here.
Thanks for having me.
That stuff. This is, former Eagle Scout. You're tying knots and consulting on the equipment and everything. Just you're a big asset to the crew. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Steph, do you want to say hi? Put you on the spot?
My name's Steph. I'm from Boston. I'm in college for geology.
Geology, nice.
And just here breaking rocks.
Heck yes. Yeah. Awesome. First time digging dinosaurs?
First time.
Awesome. Yeah. Very cool. Boston sports teams. Who are you repping?
Celtics.
Yeah.
Go Celtics.
Nice. All right. Yeah. Well, very cool. Yeah. It's been so cool meeting so many cool new people this year.
How tall are you? 5 feet?
5'2".
5'2"?
This girl moves rocks better than I do.
Yeah. Well, awesome. I think we got everybody. I'm going to float around a little bit and answer some questions from the chat. And, I'll be bugging you guys a little bit, but mostly letting you work. And let me know if you need an extra hand with anything. We do have a lot of people today. So, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, and lots of geologists at the site. Absolutely, Vexy, yeah. I mean, that's like half of paleontology, at least in the field, is geology, You can't understand the critters if you don't understand their geological setting, And when we're working at a site like this, we could say, oh, we've got a cool dinosaur, here's its morphology, here's how it's related to other dinosaurs, that kind of thing. But that's not the complete picture. In order to really understand these organisms, you have to understand the environment that they were living in. You do that by studying the rocks. So here at this site, we've been very lucky in that we've got some really cool clues embedded in the strata that show us what kind of environment this was. So if memory serves, I'm thinking back to 2023, that was a while ago, but our horned dinosaur here probably was buried at the bottom of a lake. I think it seems like maybe a lacustrine deposit. And we've got some fossil leaves and stuff in there too, so it gives us a sense for what this particular setting was that this animal was preserved in. That stuff is really important, you know? I think that's something I really want to emphasize. When we're digging up a dinosaur like this, it's not just, oh, cool, big dinosaur, you know, whiz bang, you know. We're here doing science. You know, dinosaurs are part of this environment. We're trying to figure out what this ancient environment was like. This is an important time in the history of life on Earth. And dinosaurs are kind of a character in that story. But it's not the whole story, you know? This is how we're different from maybe commercial groups who are just like, yeah, let's dig up a dinosaur because people like dinosaurs. We'll make money doing it. No, we're not doing this for profit. We're doing this for science. And none of us out here are getting paid, by the way. This is just, we do this because we love it. And because we want to figure out what this ancient ecosystem was like. We want to, not to be too corny or lofty about it, but it's like we're adding bricks to this grand castle of science, you know? We're helping build this big knowledge base that people for generations to come will be able to build on themselves and benefit from. So yeah. Anywho. And Cigaretta says, is it a new dinosaur? Most likely, yes. So let me walk you through that in just a second after I get some more water. Here, let me take this out over here. There's our visual aids. But first I'm going to put my water in here so that it doesn't boil in the sun. There we go. This is one of my new favorite pieces of equipment this year. Are these little water bottle holsters? Not little, I guess it's pretty big, but it's got a shoulder strap and some pockets on it. So I don't know. Hydration is really important, especially in a place like this. This helps insulate the water bottle, keeps it from getting too cold, and makes it easier to carry, so you're more likely to drink more out of it. So, important stuff. Let me set the camera down for a second. There we go. Try not to let this fall down. There we go. Ah. What did I just say? Trying not to let this fall down. Sorry, chat. Giving you whiplash here. This is a two-hand job. There we go. Come on. Ah. Anyhow. Oh, and there's Cameron. Awesome. Cameron just showed up from another site, so we'll go bug him in a second. But yeah, Cameron's from the museum in Cincinnati. He was out with us a couple years ago. Some of you might remember him. There we go. Yeah. And Maya's told me you were falling. No, Claire, I'm all good. How much sunscreen are you going through? Says it's Tuesday Moon. A good amount. I don't know. I'm lucky in that I tan fairly easily, so I don't have to use too much sunscreen. But some of our crewmates are of a more pasty disposition, especially some of those folks from Utah. And yeah, they go through a ton of sunscreen. Holy cow. And we're glad they do, because we don't want anybody to get skin cancer out here. And thank you, the E-Ghost. I appreciate that. Welcome. Yeah. And not pasty lol says realizing love. Yeah, I don't know. I know I'm white passing, but you know, my dad's side of the family's Latino. We're Puerto Rican, and I've got, you know, a little bit more capacity for melanin than some of my compatriots here. So I'm lucky in that regard. And somebody was commenting on the canteen cover. Thank you. You know, this is one of my new favorite pieces of equipment this year. And here, I made this, 3D printed this leatherback turtle patch for it. Oh yeah. Don't get me started on leatherback turtles. I was just in Florida, last week? Went there to work with these critters, and that was a magical experience. But I don't want to talk about that too much today because it's a little off topic. Don't tempt me, because I could talk about leatherback turtles for days and days, and I often do. Anyway. Hey, Cameron. Hey, can we bug you for a second?
Sure.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, how are things over at Turtle Hill?
Great.
Nice.
Moving lots of rock, finding lots of fish bits.
Fish bits?
Yep,
nice. Excellent.
Lots of amid, like Melvius vertebrae.
Yeah. It's Melvin time, yeah. But yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So
they know about the site?
A little bit, yeah. I was there the other day, but could you talk a little bit about your job and what you do over in Cincy?
Oh, yeah. Well, I work at the Cincinnati Museum Center. I'm the Paleontology Collections Manager.
Nice.
So the vast majority, nearly everything we're collecting here is being reposited at our institution.
Yeah.
So I get the honor of organizing it and facilitating research. Ethan comes to visit me often. Danny's welcome too.
I really want to. I've not been to Cincinnati yet. Maybe I'll get a chance to this year before SVP.
We have an outstanding facility and comparable collection.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Well, you're marching off. I'll let you go. But
yeah, I'm off to get dinner.
Awesome. Hey, nice. Enjoy.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Awesome. Cam's a good guy. And it's really cool that we have so much involvement from our repository. Like, he works for the museum in Cincinnati. That's who we're collecting for. Again, I should emphasize that all of the fossils that we're excavating here will be held in the public trust in perpetuity in, so far, 2 different museums. The museum in Cincinnati, Ohio, where Cameron works, and then the Carnegie Museum in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I'll be doing some special live streams with the folks in Pittsburgh. Well, for the folks in Pittsburgh, we're going to do like we did last year for their Dino Fest, where I'll be streaming from hopefully a couple of different sites. And then they're going to have me on the big screen in the auditorium in the Carnegie Museum. And they're going to be taking questions from the audience, and I'll be answering those live. So that's going to be a ton of fun. Unfortunately, Uncle Matt LaManna, dinosaur guy at the Carnegie, he can't come out here this year. He just had shoulder surgery, I think rotator cuff surgery. So he's recovering, and he's pretty bummed that he can't be out here with us. But yeah, we'll be talking with him via the chat. I think on the 13th, so that's going to be cool. Yeah. Anywho, and Sporky says forever? Yeah, so that's the thing. When we collect fossils from a place like this, it's actually like a legal thing, given that we're working on public land, federal land. We have to get permits in order to do that. And so when fossils come from public land, they belong to we the people. They cannot be collected for personal gain or use. They cannot be sold. They need to go in a museum. As a wise man once said, that belongs in a museum. That's why we're collecting these things. And so we sacrifice our blood, sweat, and tears to be able to excavate these fossils, with the understanding that those fossils will be there in the museum, safe and sound, long after we're all dead, We're building something for the future, and it should be a forever thing, So the forever home for these fossils here, I'm not sure if the ceratopsian is going to Pittsburgh or Cincinnati. I'd have to check on that. But all the Turtle Hill stuff is going to Cincinnati. That's pretty cool. So it's really neat that Cameron can come out here and, work on these specimens and everything, and kind of see where they came from, because he's going to be up to his eyeballs in fossils when he gets back to Cincy once we send these things over. So yeah, and welcome, Kensei Zero. Howdy. Yeah. And so this is not Turtle Hill here, Sea Films. Turtle Hill is a little distance away, but that is a site that I showed you on Tuesday. Maybe not you personally, Sea Films, but everybody who was watching. And it's so named because there's a bunch of turtle pieces from there, just a whole smorgasbord of other really interesting critters. from that aquatic environment. It's from like the bottom of a lake or a swamp. So there's turtles, there's salamander-like critters, there's just tons of ray-finned fishes, and there's chondrichthyan fishes too, cartilaginous fishes, things like stingrays and sharks. And then there's just tantalizing little samples of dinosaurs, like teeth and little bones from dinosaurs, and mammals too, our ancestors back from the Cretaceous. So yeah, cool stuff. Just Floof says, here's hoping you find a megalodon. I don't think we're gonna find a megalodon here. Anyway, and here's Josh setting up his lunch, it looks like. Yeah. Nice.
I'm so hungry.
We have had a big problem with like tons and tons of wasps at this site before. Some of you will remember this from previous years.
They only sting Quinn.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't gotten stung. I don't know if anyone else has gotten stung.
That's really interesting. I wonder, like...
He's got sugary blood.
Yeah, something really like that. No, like, literally, I feel like I've heard from legitimate scientists that different blood types will attract mosquitoes more or less. Huh. And I wonder if that's Quinn's deal. Just ask him what his blood type is. If that's not a HIPAA violation, I don't know. But yeah. Anyway. Golganek remembers the wasps, yeah. We've been pretty lucky so far this year. There's not too many wasps, but it's still early in the season, so we'll see. Anyhow, poor Quinn, yeah. We'll go ask him for a music recommendation in a few minutes. Oh, and Ethan, Michael, and Nick have put on their respirators. I think we might get to see some rocks on. Oh yeah.
Those universal downers.
Here comes the buzzsaw.
All right.
The final keystone.
Yeah. So those of you who saw our streams from St. George, you remember their rock saw. I think it's the same exact make and model as this one. But Nick is kind of the rock saw guy. He's got a lot of experience with these tools, and this is going to be cool to see. So these rocks obviously are way too robust, too hard, too resilient for simple picks and shovels and stuff like that. We need to bring in the big guns for something like this. Those rock saws. Let's go take a look at that before Nick uses it. And we have to get out of range. But this is a gasoline-powered rock saw. This is a serious piece of equipment. So I think these are diamond-tipped blades right here. That is, like I said, a serious piece of equipment. And it throws up a tremendous amount of dust, sort of thing you do not want to inhale. You can get silicosis, you could die from that. So that's why we've got those respirators. Yeah, good stuff. And diamonds, exactly, North Korean government, yeah. Unfortunately, for us, diamonds are not forever. We're going to be going through a number of these blades and having to replace them. That's how hard these rocks are, as you'll see. But yeah. Let's see. I know. There we go, Lenina. I could do that. I could log some wasps. And Kleber says Thrill House's cousin. Yeah. All right. So you're going to see a huge plume of dust come up when Nick fires this thing up and cuts in. But these are the things we have to resort to in order to break down these rocks. And that's the thing, is that a lot of other crews would just give up at this point. They're like, okay, we've got a few bones from this horned dinosaur. I guess we'll describe it as a new species, even though the material's kind of scrappy. That's not what we're doing. We're trying to get as much of this animal as we can, and if that takes months of work to cut through these rocks, then we'll do it. There we go. Nick's suiting up with all his personal protective equipment. So he's doing a seal test on the mask. Saw him put his hand up on there, inhaled and exhaled, made sure you got a proper seal. Ethan spraying the water on there to cut down on the dust. As you can see, the point is not to cut completely through the rock because the blade isn't that long. You can't do that. But you're making an incision so that we can get some wedges into there, hit them with some sledgehammers, put some pry bars in, and then we can crack that thing off. So we'll see that process here. Oh, there's the jackhammer, yeah! Was that a new method as of this morning? Did we just figure that out?
Yeah. What?
With the jackhammer?
I'm just gonna clear this out so I can fit the saw.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, so Nick is going to do some more sawing in a minute here. Just got to clear away some debris first. Again, this is the kind of thing it takes to dig up a dinosaur sometimes.
Nick, let me think.
So the jackhammer over here is also like gas powered. It doesn't plug in. We do have a generator over there, but that's basically to charge up batteries and stuff. We've got our battery recharge station for our other power tools. So you'll see these batteries are charging up here. And those are for some of our, what were they again? Like impact drills? So again, for any of you just joining us, welcome to Wyoming. We're at a dinosaur quarry here. We're trying to remove all of the rock from this upper shelf so we can get down to where the bone layer is and actually find some more bones. But it requires a lot of preparation. There's a lot that you got to do before you can actually dig up the bones themselves, you know? And exactly, Charlie's Dragon, yeah. We're really lucky here in that we have power tools, and we have people who know how to use them. I've been on a lot of other crews where we didn't have the budget for that, or we were so remote and we had to hike everything in for miles that, you know, we didn't have the luxury of power tools. Luxury is not the right word, but we didn't have that advantage. Get the idea. We'll go out of the noise for a little bit. Give everybody a bit of a break from that rock saw ASMR. But yeah, I'll show you the process for actually cleaving that block off with the feather wedges and the sledgehammers and the jackhammer. But yeah, again, if you don't take anything else away from this stream except for one thing, let it be digging up dinosaurs can be a tremendous amount of work, and sometimes we literally have to move mountains like we're doing here. All of this rubble here. So this used to be kind of a gentle slope to this hill down to the bottom, but and some of you who were here in previous years on these streams remember what the ceratopsian site looked like, maybe. If not, you can go review the VODs. But this looks completely different. It looks completely different from what it did last year. So much rock has been moved here. This team is literally moving mountains. This is this is something. Now Mike has got the jackhammer over there. He's going to exploit that crack that, or the incision rather, that Nick made with the rock saw. Best exploit that incision. There we go. Shoot.
Wedge it.
And here, Quinn, there's a comment you should see. Where was it? Look right there, 1509 Lilith Vartan.
What are you saying?
Thank you, Lilith. She says, let's see what that hunk in the black hat can do.
Ooh, we get in here.
All right, trying to exploit that incision some more. It's moving.
Oh, big boy. Finish it off now.
Finish it off.
Nice. My brain shake says, is this the actual unearthing of a fossil? This is one of the steps that's involved before we can get to where the fossils are. So, at the bottom of that quarry down there, that's where we've been digging up this horned dinosaur. But we ran out of bone bed. It's continuing into the hill, so we've got to remove all of this rock up here and get down to that layer down there. Below those big, so we got to move those too at some point. But this is what we call overburden, you know? All of the burdensome rock atop the bone layer, we've got to remove that. Nice wedge there.
Oh yeah. All right, I mean.
You can see how these pry bars get bent.
Oh yeah. It feels hunky. Here, get in there.
Man, I was hoping that what I was doing earlier would help with this. I was digging around all the soft stuff underneath to try and, you know, give you some accommodational space down there.
You did a great job.
Hopefully that helps.
Yes. You did amazing. Let me get in there. Try and bend this back. Oh no, it's not. This thing's done. Okay. Give it its last run.
I was going more like this.
There you go. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Watch yourself though. Don't do too much. Oh, nice.
Yes. There we go.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Nicely done, everybody. You see the amount of work it can take to dig up a dinosaur? This is... I hope everyone at home appreciates this right now as you sit in air-conditioned comfort while we're out here.
I hope everyone looks at dinosaur skeletons differently next time they go to
There you go, yeah. A bit more appreciation, maybe.
The amount of work that went into that display.
Arrive at that.
Andrea says, now do that 100 more times. I mean, yes, that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not just one season.
Yeah. No, we're going to be doing this next season, too. So it all comes down to the lithology, like how resilient is that rock? And we get these patches where it's just, these layers where it's just incredibly hard. So we can only hope that it gets softer underneath.
See that toss?
It's a little bit less work. Nice.
That was a donation. That's what I'm saying. That's a donation.
Yeah. So Gene says, what kind of rock? This is an incredibly hard sandstone that we're dealing with here. It is, it's a real piece of work.
It's way more chill on Turtle Hill.
There we go, nice.
You call it Turtle Chill?
Roll that out of the way.
Oh, wow. Hold on, look at this leaf.
Yeah?
Ooh. Get over here.
Fossil leaf?
Latest breaking news.
Oh yeah, look at that right there. 70 plus million years old. An angiosperm leaf. Wow. Flowering plant. Nicely done. Wow. You like just missed the middle of it with the saw too. Lucky.
See you later.
See? Nick knows what he's doing.
That's right.
Hey, do you think there's avian dinosaur DNA hidden inside this leaf that we can extract? I know a buddy who just bought an island.
Don't give me a little idea.
Yeah, look at that. I'm sure everybody at home.
What's your buddy's name who owns an island?
Uh-oh. Yeah. 246 people watching right now, checking out that leaf. Pretty cool. Yeah, excellent. Wow. Right. And now we're going to send it down the hill. Yes.
Oh, come on, baby.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice. Very nice. So some celebratory ape noises. So it goes here. And seeing the videos that these guys recorded from this site last year was really funny. Out of all the sites, I think there's the highest likelihood that people go feral at this one. Anyway, let me go get some water and I'll show you some diagrams. We'll talk about this ancient environment. We'll talk about this particular kind of dinosaur, all that good stuff.
Sure.
Here. Alright, water time. And the raven, we throw rock, we whoop, we poke more rocks with spears. I mean, yes, there is something very kind of primal about this, you know? We're out here in the middle of nowhere.
Alright, 3, 2, 1.
Working as a team.
Holding. Adjusting. Holding. Adjusting. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Holding.
Adjusting. Holding.
Adjusting. 3, 2, 1. Watch your foot. Holding.
Holding. Holding.
Adjusting. Adjusting. 3, 2, 1.
Adjusting. Holding.
Adjusting.
Adjusting. Okay, good.
3, 2, 1. Oh. Adjusting.
Holding.
Adjusting. Adjusting.
Adjusting. Adjusting. Holding.
3, 2, 1.
Adjusting.
Holding.
Hey,
adjusting.
Bent action helps.
Adjusting.
Have a day.
3, 2, 1.
What's on the other side of this?
You're good.
We pick that out.
Make sure there's no crew members there.
Alright. One more.
3, 2, 1.
That's going.
Adjusting.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Nice.
Woo! They really get on that last one.
Well done.
Took a lot of effort. Probably more than it was.
The chatter going, who's Justin and who's Holden?
Nice.
This thing sucks.
Who is Justin? Who is that? Who's Justin?
Cool.
What time is it?
Party time. Like probably 3:20.
It's 3:20.
Okay, so not.
At times the bending this kind of helps. I can get right up to it and then just
really
push. Other times it's really inconvenient, but you know it has its moments.
There you go, freelancer. Yeah. Justin TV. That's before my time. Shoot. Here, let's talk about this ancient ecosystem and the critter that we're after here. If you're just tuning in, welcome to beautiful wild western Wyoming. Welcome to the late Cretaceous period. We're digging in rocks about 70, maybe 73, maybe 75 million years old. Probably closer to 73. We're still figuring that out. It's important. The animal that we're after here at this site is called a ceratopsian. Ceratopsians are the horned dinosaurs. You at home have probably heard of Triceratops. This is not Triceratops, it's earlier in time. And, let's see, do I have a nice diagram? There we go. Animal would have looked something like this. Maybe similar to Anchiceratops or Pentaceratops. So Triceratops-like, it's part of the same family, but it's a different kind of dinosaur. The one that we have here, we suspect, is probably a new species. And we're very excited about that. One of our crewmates found that in 2023, just walking along doing some prospecting. And we were very excited about that. Because there are no horned dinosaurs that are named from this particular geological formation. So whatever we find here, chances are it's going to be new, no matter what kind of dinosaur it is. But a ceratopsian is really cool because, well, everybody loves ceratopsians. And they evolve pretty quickly through time. They've got a lot of diagnostic features. And so it can help us kind of maybe solve some mysteries about the evolution of ceratopsian dinosaurs in the late Cretaceous of North America. You know, is this whole extreme faunal endemism thing actually the real deal? Or is it more of a temporal thing? I'll talk about this more, I think, later on in the summer when I'm on Denver Fowler's crew, because he's got strong opinions about this, and it'd be cool to talk about that with him. But, yeah, anyway, horned dinosaur here. I'll show you what their skeleton looks like. There we go. This is the skeleton of Pentaceratops, and our critter does seem to be Pentaceratops-like from the pieces that we have. We've got some major components of the skull. Hold this still. Major components of the skull here. We've got, seems to be a brow horn. We've got some other skull material. We've got some of the frill bones. But we need more of this critter. We need more of the skull, really. The postcrania, all the bones behind the skull, those are cool to have, but they're not usually very diagnostic. Meaning that, like, they don't have a lot of unique traits that you could use to, say, name a new ceratopsian dinosaur. It's the skull that you want, because the skulls on these guys evolve very quickly. And part of that is probably that they're used for display. So, I think I have that diagram in here. Let's have a gander. Where's my ceratopsians? Did I not bring that one? Shoot. Maybe not. Drat. Okay, we don't have it. Well, it might be back in my tent or it might be back home. But there's a huge variety of different ceratopsian dinosaur species that all have different shaped horns and frills. We think that they all look very different from each other because they evolved specifically to look different. It's a display thing. We have a sense that these animals are probably pretty social, and having different shaped horns and frills can help tell different species tell each other apart, and they can help individuals tell each other apart too. They can also signal things like, hey, look at me, I'm a big mature adult. Look at how big my horns are, look at how long my frill is. These things are probably very brightly colored. Probably recognizable from a distance. But also, like, it shows who's a juvenile and who's an adult and who's a subadult and all of that. In the same way that different people wear different clothing and they have different hairstyles and stuff like that. You know, we like to be individuals. We like to express ourselves. It's almost kind of the same thing for these animals, but it's important for them in social situations, most likely, because they were probably living in herds. Anyway, all of this is to say that the skull of this animal is going to be really, really important, and that's why we're doing all of this work. That's why I was, throwing a pick and a shovel for hours earlier. And I was trying to work while everybody else was resting because I knew I'd be walking around with a camera for 3 hours in the afternoon. Wanted to get some good work in while I could. But all of this rock is rock that we have moved and will continue to move. We got to bring this bench all the way down, cut away all of that rock until we get down to there. It's quite the undertaking, as you can imagine. Imagine, as you can see with your eyes, Tremendous amount of rock that we have to move. Yeah. And Lilith Spartan says, are you all stacked up on vegan hot dogs? We ran out of veggie burgers last night, actually, which was not ideal. I think we've got somebody going into town to pick some stuff. Oh, yeah, that's where Cameron was going. He was going to the store to get food for us. So, yeah. It's probably going to be veggie burgers again tonight for the vegetarians. And I'm not mad about that. It's going to be nice. And thank you, Out of the Potato. Yeah, these sandstones are incredibly hard. Just nuts. Yeah. Anywho. And we do get very hungry. Absolutely, Lilith Spartan. Oh, yeah. That's the thing, is that we're trying to be budget conscious out here. We don't have a whole lot of money. We try and spend it very wisely. And so we try not to ever waste any food. But it's a delicate balance that you have to try and achieve between making a ton of food and having everybody be well fed and trying to be frugal and not make so much that there's any leftovers. So yeah, anyhow. Recently we've been kind of erring on the not enough food side of things. So it's really good that Cam is on his way to the store right now. Yeah. And Ephraim Tours, howdy howdy, good to have you here. Insafan, hi to you too. I'm glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. Anyhow. Good stuff. It's funny how viewership on a Friday is usually, it seems a lot lower than it was yesterday. It's interesting. But yeah, all of you who are here right now, I'm grateful for you. And let me know if you've got any questions, That's what these streams are all about. Yeah. Let's go bug Quinn and yeah. Well, we'll give him a minute, then we'll ask for a music recommendation. He's thinking. And Geeks Tour says, are you moving that rock a second and third time potentially? For a lot of it, we're going to have to, or more times than that. Because again, we're cleaving these big sandstone blocks off from up here, cracking them open, and getting them to a size where we can actually move them. And then we have to roll them down the hill, and usually these things don't really want to roll. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think we might have to move everything down from the quarry floor at some point too. We've already worked down through this whole area and found all of the bones down there in the bottom. But yeah, some of these we're going to have to move multiple times. That's all part of it, I've worked another site that was similar to this back in Montana in 2012. It's called the Rocky Bone Bed. So it was like a mass death assemblage of Gripposaurus, big duck-billed dinosaur from the late Cretaceous. A little bit older than these rocks, but yeah. And like this, it was kind of on the side of a steep hill going down toward a road, and there were huge, heavy sandstone blocks, just really thick, resilient sandstone really nasty stuff. And Liz Friedman Fowler now, after she married Denver. Liz Friedman Fowler, at the time, she was in charge of this site and devised all kinds of interesting methods for removing that rock. They kind of went the more slow and steady kind of approach. So she had these big masonry drills where she could drill holes into the sandstone and then stuff it with expanding bentonite clay. And overnight, this clay would expand and it would crack the rocks into more manageable pieces, at least pieces that could theoretically be moved with some mechanical advantage. And they'd use pry bars, or sometimes what they would do is they would get a bunch of smaller rocks, they'd collect them nearby, and they'd get some bottle jacks, like for a car. And so they'd put the bottle jack under one of these great big rocks. They'd kind of wedge it under there and then jack it up. And as they're doing that, they're stuffing rocks into the gap. So eventually you can get one of these rocks to stand up and then flop over. And then you start the whole thing again. Put the jack underneath, jack it up slowly, shove rocks underneath, and eventually you get it to turn over again. And you keep doing this until you get it out of the quarry and you can shove it down the hill. And then it'll roll of its own volition once it gets out of the quarry. That was a lot of fun to watch, and they would have to have somebody be on the lookout and make sure there's no people or cars or anything down there. This is a pretty remote area, but still, there's a dirt road, and sometimes you would have locals going up and down it. So you have to make sure that nobody's down below before you send one of these huge boulders rolling down. It was, they've got some fun stories. Yeah. Anyhow. Yeah. And Knitting CDD says, are you afraid that some of these rocks that you were dumping down the slope have something in them? Some of them will have things in them, but it's probably not going to be bones. We did see that there was a leaf on that one rock. I showed you that earlier. Fossil leaf from a tree from the Cretaceous period. But we have a lot of leaves already. That's not something that we're super concerned about. At the Turtle Hill site, they've got magnificent fossil leaves coming out left and right. And that's what our paleobotanist friends were after the last few days. They just took off this morning. So, yeah. Anyhow. Have I ever worked with a crew that used dynamite? I have not, Sporky. There are some crews that do use explosives. They're not quite as dramatic as you would expect. The dynamite, not the crews. But it's often just not the most practical thing to use, you know? It's a bit less controlled than something like expanding bentonite clay, or even like a jackhammer, or the method that you saw here earlier. So yeah. And did they make a bulldozer blade? You could have tried. We couldn't get a truck up here, Mayor of Space. It's too steep. Yeah. Also, I think that would be against BLM rules. We're on Bureau of Land Management, federal land, and so there are some restrictions on what we can do up here. So everything that we're doing right now is kosher, but I don't know if you could actually drive a truck up here. I think that might be verboten. Yeah. And I think you said it was 2 hours to... No, it's not 2 hours to camp. Several miles from camp. But it doesn't take that long to drive. No. Anywho. And HD and HB, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Good to have you here. A sauropod or something to pull things for you. We talked about that earlier, Charlie's Dragon. It'd be cool to have like a team of mules. Nick said that would be really fun. But, yeah. Instead, we've got students and volunteers. And that's just as good sometimes.
It looks like way more boulders from down
and dynamite. That's the thing, Neverwinter, is that if you're too close to the fossils, then yeah, absolutely, dynamite would be a potential hazard. But here, where Nick is standing down there, you can wave, Nick? Yeah, that's the bone horizon down there. So from Nick all the way up to where Micah is standing, where James is standing, we've got to remove all of that rock. So that's a tremendous amount. We're hoping that that bone layer where Nick is standing extends into the hill here. And we'll find more of this critter, but that is going to be a tremendous amount of work, you know?
It's at least 10 meters.
Yeah.
That's how much we need to move. 10 by 10.
Anyhow.
Gosh, this is gonna take forever. You think that? I thought that about that ledge. Huh? It's gonna go quick.
Let me go get some more water. Yeah. And quick station break, I guess. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Paleontologizing. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. I'm here on Twitch trying to do some good old-fashioned science outreach. So we're doing the heavy lifting work of digging a dinosaur here. I say we. I'm not working right now. I'm just standing around yapping in front of a camera. But I was over there shoveling earlier today for a few hours. Man, it is a lot of work, but we're hoping it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it because we have what we think is a brand new species of horned dinosaur down there, and we need more of it before we can actually publish on it scientifically. We need more bones. We need to be able to prove that this animal is different from every other horned dinosaur that's ever been found. We think it is, but we need proof, you know? That's it for that water bottle. Okay. Yeah. That's an impressive job to do, says Sulicat. Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. So again, from it's kind of hard to. It's probably hard to see on the camera. But from that ledge down there, we've got to remove all of this rock because that is the bone horizon. That away. So it's going to be a lot. Here, maybe I can actually do some shoveling.
I love
All right. If there's room for me, we'll see.
Chubbies. Who's this layer? That layer looks good. It does.
Kind of looks. There's some shaly stuff down there. Is that what you're talking about?
Nope. We're just talking about the new color we're seeing.
Yeah. Is that like a organic rich shale or something?
It's very organic rich. I've seen some of it. For later processing for pottery potentially.
Does it remind you of the bone layer a little bit, or not really? Not too much. It's way more friable than that. Yeah. The bone layer was much more blocky, as I recall. Yeah. This is just chock full of mudstone. You know, organic stuff. Yeah. So, explain to the audience what that means, Mike, when it's an organic, rich shale.
I think you'll do it better than me.
I don't know. You're a better geologist than I am. I don't mean to put you on the spot, though. Organic rich just means like there's a bunch of dead stuff in there. So like plant material, all kinds of stuff like that in it. Lots and lots of carbon. So it's not just like a rock, it's almost
a
like
whole bunch of detritus from the leaves and all the trees, all the bark that's built up over time that got deposited in an area fine like this. So, you know, it could be just offshore, and then going back and forth in cyclothems.
Yeah,
Milankovitch cycles back and forth as we move forward, and as we dig down.
Nice. Ethan's doing a great job changing out the buckets. We have a name for that job that I can't repeat on camera.
Yeah, but I can't say it on stream.
Bucket boy? Bucket, we'll go with that, yeah, bucket boy. Nice. Oh, here comes that afternoon wind. Pointing the camera at the Like you could see the wind coming. That's not. You can tell I'm a little tired today. Thank you, Executive Storm, for the 70 months of support. Really appreciate that. Yeah?
It smells like after a rainstorm and you got mud everywhere and leaves.
Yeah.
That's what it smells like.
Interesting.
Very organic. Organic rich.
Full of
what used to be life.
Critters,
what used to be life. Not
really
anymore.
Cool. As opposed to like these big blocky sandstones that are just concreted sand and
a lot slower of an environment to make this fine.
Gotcha. So like very still, lots of dead stuff.
A lot more still accumulations. So you have maybe stagnant ponds potentially betwixt interbraided streams, fluvial deposits. And then you have going back and forth, right? You have the Milankovitch cycles. As you move in and out, waxing and waning time periods.
So Milankovitch cycles are not necessarily a recent thing. We all think of the ice ages, glacial maxima and stuff like that with Milankovitch cycles, but this is something that's been going on for hundreds of millions of years?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's caused all the cycles that we can think of. You know, moving slightly away from the sun, you know, the position of the moon, all plays a factor.
The wobble of the Earth's axis.
Exactly. Where Uranus is, where Saturn is, where Jupiter is.
They all have an influence on rocks?
Oh, eventually.
Interesting.
The wobble that we experience.
Oh, is that actually like gravitational force from other planets in the solar system?
Correct. So
I had no idea it was connected like that.
So as this is our sun.
Yeah.
And this is our moon. And Jupiter causes the sun to oscillate while the sun moves us. So Jupiter protects us and has enough gravitational force to move the sun and cause it to wobble as we all move throughout the universe together. Yes.
I wasn't aware of that.
Well, I know they're like magnetic. The Jupiter's magnetic field is like insane.
It's enough to cause wobble in the sun.
So is ours too. But yeah, like that's fascinating.
Yep.
Really interesting.
If you look at the sun's position in it also moves with Jupiter because it's probably the biggest gravitational body within our solar system. And so those little things add up. You know, just a slight tilt is enough to cause the degrees and transitions of melting and position events, and increased internal continental seas, or the retraction of that.
Wow. Really cool. Thanks, Micah.
Yeah. Go back to digging the dirt now.
Oh, very cool. And Dinosaur Dave in the chat. I know what you're talking about. Excellent. Very, very cool. The Lego Triarchunkus, one of my favorite dinosaurs. That is awesome. Very, very cool. Really neat. I'll have to check that out if you posted it to Blue Sky, Dinosaur Dave. Feel free to put a link in the chat if you want to. But everybody, Dinosaur Dave does these Lego fossil critters. And I guess he did a dinosaur that I was an author on. Triarchunkus is an alvarezsaur from the Hell Creek Formation. It's about 8 million years younger than the rocks that we're digging in here. It's from the very end of the Cretaceous, from Montana. And my crew found some very important parts of it over the years and published on it. So I'm one of the authors on that paper from 2020 on Triarchunkus prairiensis. The name means Captain Hook of the prairie. Really cool little critter. Really bizarre stubby arms. Super thick and short arms with one big claw on each hand. It's named... Well, it's maybe sister taxon, so very closely related to a dinosaur called Mononychus from Mongolia. That name means one claw. Really cool group of critters. Anyway, thank you, Dinosaur Dave. Very cool. The answer right now? Excellent. Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. And Moonbutter says this has become one of my favorite streams. I appreciate you saying that. That means a lot to me. Welcome back. It's good to have you here. Before I forget, let me refill my water bottle over here. And, or maybe I'll just grab another water bottle. and make sure I stay hydrated out here. I was doing a lot of work earlier. I want to make sure I don't dehydrate. Good stuff. All right. Inside of my bag. There we go. It's really nice having the shade tarp here. Keep things relatively cool. So they're not in direct sunlight heating up. Ugh. Set the camera down for a minute. Hold on, chat. Sit tight. There we are. I'm trying to insulate this thing. Max Devlin's got a good question. Appreciate that, Max Devlin. How many hours do you normally work on a site in a day? So we try and work from about 9 to 5 or maybe 9 to 6 every day. I got to this site a little bit later today because I was ferrying some other crew members to a different site. We didn't have enough vehicles. So I said, hey, hop in the Prius, I'll take you over there. So I went over to the Anki site and dropped off some crew members. And then I went to go check out Turtle Hill. And then came here to work. So I've seen 3 different sites today. But I think I got here about 9:40 today, something like that. And then we'll be working until 5:30, 6, something like that. A lot of that will depend on the tasks that we have to get done during that day. We're working on a particularly big pesky boulder that we need to move by the end of the day, or maybe we get rained out and we leave early. It's always, it varies with whatever conditions we're experiencing, but it's like 9 to 5, 9 to 6. So how many hours is that? 8 or 9 hour day in the field, and then we go back to camp. Might relax for a little bit. We make dinner, do some chores, and then just hang out around the campfire until it's time to go to sleep. We've been getting to sleep maybe a little bit too late, around midnight lately. And yeah. They're very full days, but we sleep very well out here. That's the thing, is that when you're working all day outside in the sun, and it's often really hard work, man, do you sleep well after that. Some of the best nights of sleep in my life. Well, I generally sleep. I'm not a bad sleeper. I sleep really well usually. But I'm like out like a light when I'm out here. And Caber Bonfire says, is Fisher there with you? Fisher's over at Turtle Hill right now. He's training a new crew member on that site, and they've been finding all kinds of cool stuff today. So Fisher's not too far away from us here. Turtle Hill's not that far away from the ceratopsian site, but yeah. Excuse me. Hey guys, hi Troy McClure. So the sites here are Turtle Hill, Purple Puzzle, Anki site, and ceratopsian site. Yeah, Rushwing, yes indeed. We're really focusing on these 4 sites this year, and we will probably have more sites next year. There's a few other ones that we might end up working at some point this year. There's the Scattered Plain Hadrosaur site. There's the T-Bone Hadrosaur site. A lot of hadrosaurs. Duckbill dinosaurs may have been kind of dominant in this environment. But these are the ones that we have excavation permits for. So in order to be able to dig a huge hole like this, and this is a gargantuan operation we have going on here, we need to petition the Bureau of Land Management for a permit. So we can move a bunch of rock, and they will come and pay us visits and make sure that we're, you know, not messing up the landscape too badly, all of that. Yeah. We try and be excellent stewards of the land and leave things, if you can believe it, cleaner than we found them. Sure, we're making a big mess by clearing away these rocks and doing these huge excavations, but the thing is, after like a couple of seasons, if we leave a site like this alone afterward, you get plants growing all over these rocks that we've broken up. We're essentially like creating new soil for them. And this will slowly start to grade down with wind and rain and snow and freeze thaw. All of this will just look like part of the hillside again. So essentially what we're doing here is just like a man-made landslide, I guess. It's not like we're introducing harmful chemicals to the environment or doing anything like that. It's just we're digging a hole, you know, kind of into the side of the hill. So anyhow, my point in saying all of this is that we have a few sites that we know are going to yield really good bones. We're focusing on those, and those are the ones that we have permits for. We might well discover, well, we will discover a whole bunch of new sites this year once prospecting begins. But those sites we're going to kind of keep in our back pocket for next season, partly because we need to apply for permits for some of them if we're going to dig a big hole. Does that make sense? So it's going to be pretty much these 4 sites, I think, for the rest of the summer. And I will be here until about the 16th or so, and that's when I'm going to take off, go up to Montana. That's going to be good. Anyhow. And yeah, Fisher is saving up his Corona HD and HB. He's not really done that joke very much this year. That was a 2025 thing. We've got new jokes this year. We've got fresh memes. Yeah. And there you go, Airspace. Thank goodness we don't have to do that. Yeah. And it is kind of like turning the soil over in a garden, sort of, Geek Store, yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing, is that plants here, they are struggling to eke out an existence. So, like, most plants cannot hack it in this environment. This is pretty harsh out here in Wyoming. You have a lot of heat during the summers, you have extreme dryness, and during the winter it gets extraordinarily cold. And there's just, you know, ice and snow all over, all kinds of stuff, and very few plant species can survive this kind of, these temperature extremes. But so it is kind of astonishing that you just have so many plants here, like this lovely sagebrush here. And then this almost reminds me of like rattlesnake grass. I'm not sure what this is. Kind of like a foxtail. But anywho, there's not a whole lot of, there's so much erosion that happens here, and it's so dry that soil is scarce and very poor. And so when we end up breaking up a bunch of rock like this, we provide cool opportunities for, we're kind of, increasing the erosion to the point where, well, we're turning big rocks into little rocks, and we're turning little rocks into sediment that can become soil over time, and that's good for these plants. It's cool. I've visited some sites in the past where, you know, maybe I was working there 1 year and I come back 5 years later and see where we dug a great big pit, and there's plants all over the place. They love it. Maybe we've dug sort of a depression so that rainwater collects in a certain spot, and then it just becomes a haven for some of these plants. I'm not saying that, like, oh, we're doing the environment such a favor by, you know, digging up a dinosaur. My point is that we're not harming this landscape, we're just digging a hole, and the plants seem to like it. So, yeah. And there you go, Neverwinter, yeah. And the president's neck is missing. Another Troy McClure film. Good stuff. And any cacti, yeah, I can show you some, Max Devlin. Let's see if we can spot a prickly pear. because we've got a bunch of prickly pear around here, and they're not in bloom yet. That might be later on in June, or maybe we missed it. Maybe it was back in May. But they're really pretty when they bloom. Let's see. Here we've actually got a bone eroding out. Not a pretty one, but we've got a dinosaur bone right there. Here. Whoa. And there's some nice bone texture right there. Just by the numbers, it's probably a hadrosaur, but it doesn't look like theropod bone, but who knows. Anywho, that's often how we find this stuff in the first place. But what I'm trying to find at the moment is a prickly pear to show you. Let's see. And I'm trying to slowly learn the names of all these different plants. But sagebrush seem to be the dominant ones. They're the most prominent on the landscape here. No cacti here. Is the proper plural cacti or cactuses? If we have any botanists in the chat, let me know. Kind of like how people say octopi, but actually it should be octopuses or octopodes. There's a cactus. I wonder if it's the same for cactus. Maybe cactus is the plural, or cactuses. But here is a cactus, right here. Yeah, that's a prickly pear right there. Nice. So pretty spiky here. And yeah, when these guys are ready to flower, it's pretty beautiful. These lovely orange and pink flowers that they put out. Ugh. And that's about as exciting as the plants get around here. Yeah, not exactly the most thrilling place for a botanist. Desert of western Wyoming. Yeah. Anyhow. Anyhow. I would show you what they're doing down there right above the bone layer, but where I've put the Starlink today, up there on the hill, it creates a blind spot, and I don't think we will actually get signal down there. That's what we found out earlier. But how has the signal been during today's stream? Any drops or anything apart from that? So far I've been really pleased with how the satellite dish has been operating. It's been pretty good. And sound is great. Good, Charlie's Dragon. Glad to hear it. Yeah. Excellent. And Akira Eclipses, what have you found so far on the dig? So we're working at a lot of sites that we've worked last year and in years before. So we're continuing excavation at some of those sites. So there's not too much new that we found this year. But there is a bit. We're mostly finding new things at these sites that we continue to work at. So like at the Ankylosaur site, where we were at yesterday, they found a couple of new bones. They found what seems to be maybe a theropod dinosaur skeleton, which is really exciting. So, skeleton of a little meat-eating dinosaur. And then we saw some of the turtle material that Lauren found at the site yesterday too. And they continue to find fishes and other critters there. And Fisher, our crewmate over at Turtle Hill, he found what could be a couple of little dinosaur teeth and maybe a dinosaur claw, and potentially a little mammal tooth, which could be very, very important. And a whole bunch more fish material and stuff like that. At this site, we haven't found anything new because we're not in the bone layer. That's the thing, is that we've excavated everything from the bone layer that we can, and it basically... we ran into a wall, so now we're trying to knock down that wall. That's what's going on here at the ceratopsian site. But this is where we've got a horned dinosaur, a ceratopsian, similar to Triceratops. So, yeah, we've got to move a lot of rock to be able to get down to where we hope there are more bones. But there's just a ton of rock on top of it that needs to be removed. So that's what's going on here. Yeah. And this area used to be an ocean. Yes, at various times. So when we look at, let's look across the valley over there. Hopefully you can kind of make that out. So look above the cars on the road. Those are our vehicles parked down there. You can see that there's rocks that are kind of stacked and they're kind of tilted. So they're going in at an angle like that. They were deposited flat in the first place, but as the Rocky Mountains were built up and this whole region was uplifted, you know, these have been kind of skewed like that. Some of these are marine strata, so some of them are from the ocean, and then some of them are from these huge rivers that were going out to the sea at the time. And then we have terrestrial sediments too, like we're digging in right now. So it runs the gamut. As I always say, Earth is a dynamic planet. It is constantly changing. There's new stuff going on all the time. Areas that were once underwater get uplifted, or maybe sea level drops, they become dry land. It's a different kind of environment, so you get different rocks that get deposited there. The environment kind of dictates what kinds of rocks get laid down, what kind of sediment get deposited. So like when we look at this sandstone here, this is what some people might call iron sandstone or ironstone. This big, blocky, kind of nasty stuff, extremely hard. This is from a river carrying sand. If you have mudstones that are generally much softer, mudstones are usually from standing water, from a lake, a swamp, something like that. And the grain size will be different, it's different sediment. Yeah, and then we had that shale from up above. That's probably from like a shallow water environment, but it's very, very still and just full of organic gunk, which is why it kind of smells like after the rain when you crush it up in your hand and smell it, like we were talking about earlier. So anyway, understanding the rocks is of critical importance to understanding the animals that lived here, including the dinosaurs, you know? You have to figure out what this ancient environment was really like before you can really understand it. The context is extremely important. And Stoopsdish says, how big were the rivers? For rivers that were big enough to deposit something like this, they're pretty big. For some of those across the road over there, we're talking about like a Mississippi River-sized river, something like that, you know? Pretty impressive. So yeah, there you go. Claire is right. Yeah. And going from a river environment to a very still lake environment could have been like an oxbow lake or something, says Trailers Dragon. Bingo. Yeah. Yeah, in fact, we think that our ceratopsian dinosaur that was deposited here, that got buried, it may have been in like an oxbow lake. So if anyone's wondering what that is, I wish I had a diagram to show you. But rivers don't just stay in one place, they move through the landscape. And they're always trying to trying to find. Gravity is pulling the water downhill, and as it does that, it's following the path of least resistance. And so it often starts off really, really windy, but as that river continues to flow, and you have it scouring away the landscape, the river is kind of carrying sediment downstreams, and it can kind of carve its way down, sort of like the Grand Canyon. That was carved by the Colorado River. As that is happening, it's not staying static. It's maybe getting deeper in the landscape, and it's also straightening out slowly. So if you have a big bend in a river, that's like a lot of distance for the water to travel. As it's doing that, parts of it get carved away, and eventually that bend in the river gets cut off. It's like the water takes a shortcut straight, and so you can have this big elbow or what's called an oxbow, I guess, on the side, and that can become a lake. The river goes straight, and that big bend in it gets cut off and can become like a crescent-shaped or letter C-shaped lake. That's called an oxbow lake. So this is something that you can observe over time, and it happens, well, it's always happening all the time, you know? We as human beings, with our very finite lifespans and our like impatient attitudes, sometimes we don't notice this happening because it's, you know, it's a slow, steady process. But sometimes it sneaks up on you. And there are examples, I can't think of any specifics off the top of my head, but I know there are examples of like towns in the United States where there's a river running through two different towns, and it's really curvy and windy. It's got meanders in it. And then that's the boundary between the two different towns, is the river. But then the river changes shape. It like starts going straight after a while, and there's an oxbow lake. And so you get part of that town that used to be over here, like now you have like a weird sliver of the other town from across the river that's on the other side, if that makes sense. So like what was once a bend in the river is now an oxbow lake, and you get like a weird island of one municipality that's adjacent to the other one now, when they used to be separated by a river. Does that make sense? I'm not describing this super well. But yeah. And are Billabongs oxbow lakes, Rushwing? Is that? I guess that would make sense, huh? Yeah. Oxbow lake or other watering hole. Okay. Yeah. And Queen of the Terrible Lizard says, do you ever find bones from younger burrowing animals amongst the older stuff? We had one example of it in Queensland. We don't find that, no. The closest thing we get to that, maybe, is when we get various critters that decide to make a home in the quarry. So, say we're working on digging up a dinosaur and we've got big plaster jackets that are sitting there in the quarry. And we leave for the night, we come back in the morning, and there's a family of pack rats that's moved in there. And we get that a lot. But those are modern pack rats, you know, they're alive. And they're so cute when you pull the tarps up off the quarry and there they are staring at you, and they run away. Yeah. I think we don't have as much like burrowing animals digging into lower sediment. Maybe that was happening, but the thing is, we're dealing in rocks that are 70 plus million years old. So even if that happened at some point in the distant past, say these rocks are 73 million years old, and then a million years after they were laid down, an animal burrowed into the rock, or burrowed into into those strata. Well, okay. Then the rocks are 73 million years old, and that burrow is 72 million years old. Like it's at that point, it's like it's all pretty much the same. You know what I mean? Relatively speaking, like, okay, it's 70 plus million years old. The further back we go in time, the less precision we have in terms of dating the rocks, and 1 million years can be a long time if you have to wait for it as a person. Like, sorry, but you'll probably die. Like, we're not built to live that long. But a million years in terms of the history of life on Earth and the rock record, that's nothing, you know? So maybe these rocks are 73 million years old, maybe they're 72, or maybe they're 74. When you're dealing with rocks that old, like a million years is it's a small fraction, you know? Yeah. Anywho. But yeah. Snowdingy says lizards. Did you see a lizard? We do get lizards around here. I think they're genus Scaloporus. They're related to fence lizards, if memory serves. And I've seen a bunch of them. They're mostly really small. I think the lizards have had a really good year because Wyoming basically didn't have a winter this year. It didn't get super cold and there was hardly any snow. And So yeah, I think there's like a big population of lizards. Most of them survived. And so there's tons of little babies running around. It's cool to see. Makes me happy. Do you ever see kangaroo rats out there? Asked HD. Not really. We get other species of rodent, but kangaroo rats, I think they tend to prefer kind of sandier substrates where they like to build their burrows. And so I think we're kind of in the wrong area for kangaroo rats. This stuff is too rocky. I don't think kangaroo rats like this. So I don't think I've seen any kangaroo rats out here in Wyoming. Not enough sand for them. But we get pack rats, we get tons of chipmunks, and some little tiny mice have shown up in camp, and they're starting to poop everywhere, and that's a cause for concern with us. Got to make sure that we're sanitizing all these surfaces in camp and spraying down the tables and everything, so we don't end up getting any maladies from those little rodents. But yeah. Anyhow. And Stoobsdouche says, is the relative error of dating rocks constant? Relative error. I'm not sure I know what you mean. When we're determining the age of these rocks, there's a few different ways that we can do it. And with relative, are you talking about relative dating? Where we're just saying these ones are older than those ones because they're lower down? Yeah. There's a lot of different potential sources for error, but these are things that we're always on the lookout for, and we're always refining those methods and learning more and getting more and more precision, getting more and more precise with how we date this stuff. So I'm not sure. Could you rephrase your question? I'm not sure I'm quite getting it. Yeah. Anyhow, yeah, we don't want to get hantavirus, HD. No fun. And thanks, Ephraim Tours. Hey, I'll see you next time. Thanks for being here. Yeah. And John Drilloon, I know that I'm well aware of folding of rocks and stuff like that. But the thing is, you can tell when they've been folded and flipped over. And we don't have that here. Generally, you have stuff like, with deposition of rocks, in like a fluvial environment, it tends to fine upward. Yeah. Here, maybe we can go bug Micah about that, about the intricacies of deposition, because we were talking about this a little bit earlier, I think. Yeah, and we can ask Nick, too. But, yeah, here. We'll do a pop quiz with Micah. So, say that we're looking at some rocks. The law of superposition, the older stuff is usually at the bottom.
Sure.
But say something happened, like folding and, or like something's flipped over entirely. How would you be able to tell that it's flipped?
Well, you wouldn't look at that one location,
yeah.
Right? You'd want to try and find it across the valley, or along the other side of the hill, potentially.
Yeah.
You don't want to keep your eyes locked down. You want to look up. So you want to make sure it's not an anticline. Maybe it just got flipped because of the anticline.
Sure. Can you explain what an anticline is to the audience?
Yeah, synclines and anticlines. Right? Synclines point down towards you. Down. And then antis are up. And you get all these folds depending on what type of movement is happening underneath the earth.
Right.
So that you'll see folding where if it were to continue and fold all the way over, like I've seen in, like if you go to the Himalayas,
sure,
one of the most recent events of movement between continents, you see really distinct folding to the point where it folds over itself. So technically you have younger rock over top, underneath old rock because of that fold. But you also see, some regional heating with that. So you'll notice slow cooked metamorphic rock, like in the Appalachians, you can see that. So yeah, you would always want to make sure you find it somewhere else.
Right.
With geology, usually it's not just on one hillside. With paleontology, it is.
So, good points. Yeah, and like if you do get weird folding like that, So it's generally pretty localized.
Correct. Yes.
I mean, because we see that in where I live, in the Bay Area, just north of San Francisco along the Marin Peninsula. You get crazy, like, S-shaped folds and stuff like that in the rocks. It's really wild, to the point where they put it in geology textbooks. Like, because it's such a beautiful example of that. But you look at it and you go, there's something weird going on there. Definitely. Like, this absolutely got folded when these different crustal plates, one is subducting beneath another one, and things get caught in between and folded and crushed and squished. It's cool stuff. Anyway,
definitely. My stratigraphy instructor, she made it a point to emphasize that in our classes of how weird California's geology was.
Oh yeah, we've got very interesting geology.
So we went to Marin. We went to Marin as part of our assignment. We went to Point Reyes.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to remember what the name of the other one is that we went to. It's like a little bit more inland in East Bay, but
cool.
Her first question, she'd walk up in front of us at the rock structure we were looking at, and she'd go, "So, which way is up?"
There you go.
Yeah.
So this is the sort of question that you ask geology students, because it's the sort of thing that you should be able to figure out pretty early on. Like, yeah,
it's going to be important for a lot of things. That's one of those kind of foundations you need.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Before you start asking questions, you need to understand the sequence and events.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Trent. Thanks, Micah. Appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks for letting me put you on the spot again.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Let's see if we got any other geology questions in the chat for our resident geologists. Not at the moment, but I'll get back to you if we get some.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, we do have one. Clarification from a previous question. If you did a 10 million year old rock, do you have a 1 million year error, 10%, and 70 million year rock with 10 million year error, 14% error? It depends on what dating methods you're using. When we're like doing radiometric dating, for instance, and you can have a lot of different stuff that will affect that. So it's not going to be like, I don't think you're going to have the same percent error for every method and every sample and everything like that. It's going to vary depending on a lot of different circumstances.
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, and the further back you go, the more variation you'll end up.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. The less precise it gets. So.
Especially.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I hope that answers your question. Yeah. Thanks, Micah. Appreciate it. Ooh, we got some sawing going on down there.
So yeah, in order to be able to move those rocks that are too big, I'm gonna have to cut those up too.
Oh, man, a lot of work. I am more tired than I was expecting to be today. This site is something else, and I wasn't even working on camera today, All the work that I was doing was prior to me starting the stream. I'm a little out of practice too. It's been a year since I've done not a year. It's been 9 months since I've done overburden anyway, so, yeah. Anyhow, and there you go, Charlie's Dragon. Exactly, yeah. That is an important point. When we're talking about dating these rocks, like direct dating, using things like radioactive isotopes to figure out how old the rocks are, sometimes you can use multiple different methods to kind of cross-check. So you use, uranium-lead dating and argon-argon dating. And maybe you do that in the same sample. And maybe there's a little bit of a discrepancy between them. Like, this one says 78 million years old, and this one says 79.7 million years old. So you can kind of give a range. And when you look through the scientific literature, if you read scientific papers about, say, dinosaurs, there's almost always discussion in there about how old those rocks are and how they were able to determine that. And there's always some kind of error bar, We'll say 73 million years old, plus or minus 900,000 years. Stuff like that. Yeah. Anyhow. And Neverwinter says, one of my geology professors once mapped a mountain range in Utah and found the entire range was overturned. It happens. Yeah. It's interesting stuff. And that's a big part of being a field geologist, oftentimes, is mapping. So when you go to school for geology, you often do what we call field camp. So you go out with a group of students and professors and you're out in a landscape like this, and you learn how to map the rocks. You learn how to tell the different rocks apart, and you learn how to identify them on, say, a hillside like this. You draw sketches of it, you figure out the angle of the slope and everything. You figure out, you know, are these particular strata getting thinner, or are they getting thicker, and what does that mean? You try and kind of trace them across miles and miles of terrain like this, figure out where they start and stop, and it's very fine-scale stuff, and it's huge, broad-scale stuff. You're kind of learning about the rocks inside and out. And so it's really cool when you go to a place like that, and it's like, oh shoot, this whole area is flipped. But that is kind of rare. Those are the sorts of places where they tend to happen around like mountain ranges and stuff like that, where you have huge uplift, or they often occur around coastlines too, where you've got different continental plates that are crashing into each other, and usually oceanic crust is being forced underneath the continent. And but at those margins, you know, stuff gets caught, it gets crunched and folded and squished. It's really interesting. I'm not doing the best job of describing this because, again, I'm kind of more on the biological side of paleontology. I'm not a very good geologist at all, I'll say it. So if anything, I want to just give you a sense for how cool that field is, and you could learn about this. You could become well-versed in geology. You could probably be better than I am at geology with some study. And but there's just so much out there to learn. I think a lot of folks in the general public don't have any idea just how much we know about the history of our planet and how we figured that out. It's such an incredibly cool field of research. When you can look at a landscape like this and you don't just go, oh, that's a steep hill. No, look at the layers of rocks and look at how they're tilting. And look at how you've got darker colored and lighter colored rocks. And some of them are eroding more rapidly than others. You get more of a steep or a gentle slope. And then what do these rocks actually represent in terms of ancient environments? You know, some of these are going to be marine, from the bottom of an ocean. Some of them are going to be terrestrial. They're going to be freshwater environments, lakes, rivers, streams. Some of them might be aeolian, so they might be from wind-blown sediment, like ancient sand dunes and stuff like that. When you can look at a landscape like this and have it tell you a story about how it came to be, that is something beautiful and powerful, and I want people to be able to experience that. It's almost like having a superpower where you can kind of look back in time when you're gazing at a hillside like this. It's incredibly cool, and I can do that a little bit. I'm always amazed when people can do that far more than I can, because they've studied these things, they've done a ton of field work, they've seen a lot of outcrop, and they've studied the processes that go into forming it. But you could do that too, you know? It's attainable, and it's so incredibly cool. Anywho. Mako Tuesday Moon, yes. Hantalep, how are you doing? Welcome. And, oh, is Jim here in the chat? Let's see, let me scroll up. Scrolling. I don't know if I see him. And there's dust all over this. There we go. Neverwinter says you have to know how to tell a rock is right side up or upside down. Yep. Finding upward. There you go, Neverwinter. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Oh, the geological knowledge. Yeah, that's why we bring up Papa Jim Kirkland, of the Utah Geological Survey. I just started reading a new book back in camp that's about the importance of geology. It's called Timefulness by Marcia Bjonerold. Her last name is not the most common or easy to pronounce, but timefulness, somebody can look it up and put a link in the chat. It's really good so far. I'm really enjoying it. But it's called Timefulness, How Thinking Like a Geologist Can Help Save the World. I'm really enjoying it so far, and I got to update the books command with that. But, yeah. Anywho. And the professor. You see a professor? Where? You might be seeing things there, Tuesday Moon. Yeah. Anyway. Seen that, haven't read it yet. I would recommend it, Neverwinter. I've only like 14 pages into it so far. I just started it the other day. And there's not a whole lot of time for reading out here, you know? When we're not working on a site or traveling back and forth or cooking or cleaning or doing chores, we're often just socializing around the campfire, so there's not as much time for reading as one might like, but I'm not complaining. All these things are great. It's lovely to be out here. Yeah. Marcia Bjornerud, thank you, Claire Burr. Excellent. Good stuff. But yeah, I feel like that book is particularly relevant to what I do. You know, talking about the importance of paleontology and geology. She's just laid it out there in that book, and it's very well written. It's a very elegant writer. So I'm enjoying it. Let me go get some chapstick and some water. Got the guys enjoying some well-earned rest under the shade tarp right now. It's really nice having that shade tarp. Also, did I mention the hike up here? This is, probably half a mile uphill on steep terrain, carrying heavy gear. This is, it's hard work getting up here. Ooh. All right, water. And let's see. Do you do write-ups of any of your work? Not really, Akira Eclipse. At least not like for a popular audience. I am working on a few different scientific papers right now, but those are to be published in scientific journals. I used to do a blog years ago about my fieldwork in the Hell Creek Formation, but that, obviously never took off. It was just on my personal website. Only a few people read it. I really like writing, but it takes me a long time, and honestly, so much of my time is taken up, doing fieldwork and stuff like this, and then doing live streams, and then I've got some leftover time for science and for friends and family. I'm a pretty busy guy, to be honest. As anybody who's tried to contact me via email is probably painfully aware. Yeah. And exactly, Neverwinter. I couldn't agree more. Yeah. So many problems that we have in the modern world are because people don't think about the future and the past. They don't think on a large time scale. It's a serious issue in our culture and our economic system. Like modern capitalism, really kind of everything's now, or just thinking this quarter or the next quarter and that's it. Like no real plan for the future, no consideration of what we might be doing to the natural environment around us, what we might be doing to people. It's just everything has to be instant gratification, instant returns, as much profit as soon as possible, and that sort of thing can yield disasters. Whether it's building a building out of really cheap materials so you can make the most profit, and then in a few years it ends up collapsing. because you've cut corners left and right, and the thing can't stand up to something like an earthquake or a hurricane. So many examples like that. Or like building in the middle of a floodplain. Like, oh, let's put a housing development right next to this river because it's really pretty. But hey, what happens when, you get one of those 100-year floods? That same thing that carved out that valley and made that nice escarpment on the side of the river. Why do you think it's like that? It's because, well, shoot, every maybe 100 years or so, on average, you get a huge flood that comes through and just scours everything away. What do you think is going to happen to those houses when you get another storm like that? Don't get me started. But yeah. And there you go, Conceit. Yeah. Queen of the Terrible Lizard says, got 99 problems and self-centeredness is one. True. Yeah. And thank you, Lizbeth. I appreciate that. I don't know. I'm incredibly lucky to be able to be out here and do what I love doing and share it with the world, and I'm really lucky that some people want to pay attention to that, and I don't know. A better world is possible. We gotta work toward it, though, and gotta fight for it, One of the really cool things about being in an environment like this with my crewmates is that, like, we might be from different places and different backgrounds, but we are kindred spirits in the sense that we come out here because we love doing this. There's a real kind of purity of purpose in that. It's a beautiful thing. We didn't come out here to get rich. We're not here for personal gain. People are taking time out of their lives to come join a crew digging up dinosaurs out in the desert. Because we think this work is important, because we value it. And because we enjoy being out in nature. We enjoy working together as a team. We enjoy doing science. There is a certain degree of, and not to be self-congratulatory, but there's a certain degree of selflessness about that, where, all of us could be out in the world, cutthroat capitalism, making money, stepping on other people, all that stuff, but we don't want to do that. We want to be here. This is what we believe in, this is what we enjoy, this is what we value. These are my people on this crew, and that's a special thing, That sense of community is really important, and lots of folks do crazy things to find community, to find meaning and purpose in their lives, and we found that here. That is more precious than gold, We're very lucky. And I want everybody watching right now to have something like that in their lives. That's true happiness, Well, appreciate you, everybody. Yeah. Yeah. How come you guys work hard if that is the case? There must be something wrong with us, Conceit, right? We didn't get the message somehow. We work hard. We work harder than we've ever worked for, not for personal gain, not for profit, not to get rich, but for something more important. Yeah. Anywho, how you doing, Trin?
Doing good. We're getting ready to pack up.
All right, nice, cool.
Yeah. So, is this your shovel?
No. I brought one up from mine's in camp. It's got that D handle on it.
Okay, but, so you didn't bring it with you up here to the site, did you?
I brought it from the Anki site because Ethan thought we'd need another shovel.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for checking,
Okay,
Trin.
so it is here?
Yes, we have an extra shovel up here that you guys, Ethan thought you would need it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because someone thought this was your shovel then.
No, we're all good.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. All right, well, I guess that's my cue to start wrapping up the stream, so let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, after a day of work like that, these folks are going to be spent? Absolutely, Geeks Tour. Yeah, holy cow. Yeah, let's, don't go away just yet. We're going to see if we can find somebody else to raid into, doing some science here on Twitch, and give them our love, says Claire. Will do. Yeah. But here on Twitch, let's show science some more love. See if we can find somebody doing some science right now. Who have we got? Science Stream's birthday stream. Holy cow. Is it Belint's birthday? Well, shoot. Let's go right into science streams. I think we did yesterday, but why not do that again? Here, raid. Science. Streams. There we go. Excellent. Everybody, thank you for being here today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for asking questions. Thanks for being enthusiastic and enjoying this beautiful landscape and all this hard work with us today. It's such a privilege to be able to share this with you, and I'm deeply grateful. Not just for what I just mentioned, your time and your attention, but for your financial support too. It's one of the reasons why we can be out here as a team, is because of the financial contributions that people in this chat have made. Thank you for that, and thank you for helping me continue to do this outreach and travel and fieldwork and research. This is literally how I make my living, and I feel like the luckiest guy in the world that you make that possible. So thank you so much, chat. Holy cow. We're going to go right into science streams with Belint. It might be his birthday today. We'll go find out. But Belint is a geneticist and molecular biologist. We'll go see what he's up to, doing some cool science outreach. And maybe we'll wish him a happy birthday, if that's the correct thing to do. Anyway, we'll go jump in there, everybody. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you tomorrow for some more paleontologizing, probably from a different site. See you then. Take care. Bye-bye.